Welcome back to 360 Success Podcast, where we build lives worth living, not just businesses that look good on paper. I'm Dr. Ryan Knight, and today I want to dive into a conversation about something that every one of us is spending. This goes along with our scalable life model, but something every one of us is spending, but few of us invest well, and that's time. Listen, I'm reading this book right now called 4,000 Weeks, and it's really been eye-opening. We've got, on average, about 4,000 weeks in a lifetime. That's it. When you see it like that, it's not 80 years, but 4,000 weeks. It kind of hits different. And the truth is, how we use those weeks determines everything, our peace, our progress, and whether we actually live the life we want. Think about this. You're 40 years old. It's half gone. Maybe that's why people end up with this midlife crisis. They think, oh, I'm 40 and half of my life is over. I thought I would be in a different place. I thought I'd be so much further. I thought, I haven't enjoyed life. It's because I haven't been intentional. But so if you're 40, you've used about 2,000 weeks. That means the second half of your life needs to be less about chasing more of things and more about choosing better, because the less time you have, the more precious it is. Life is precious. Time is precious anyway, but we don't realize that until there's little of it left. We talk about scaling businesses all the time, but you can't scale what you don't structure. And the same is true for your life. If you want to build something that lasts, a marriage, a family, a business, or a body of work, you have to be intentional with your time. Time is a great equalizer. Every person, no matter how rich or poor, gets 168 hours a week. The difference between fulfillment and frustration isn't how much time you have, it's what you decide to give that time to. So we've all heard about FOMO, the fear of missing out. But I just learned something the other day called JOMO, the joy of missing out. The joy of saying no, not because you don't care, but because you finally do. Amy and I would talk about going out to eat. Where do you want to go? I don't care. I wish there was a place called the I Don't Care Cafe that'd make it a lot easier. But when you're clear on your purpose, you stop needing to be everywhere, do everything, and impress everyone. That's really when the peace shows up. That's when you can actually breathe again. See, scaling your life isn't about cramming more in, it's about filtering more out. It's realizing that margin is not laziness. Margin is leadership, because if your calendar is constantly full, your mind never will be. The joy of missing out is the maturity of recognizing that just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Warren Buffett has a simple exercise he gives people to work on in leadership, and it's brilliant. He says, write down 25 things you most want to accomplish in your life, and then circle the top 5. The other 20, he calls them the avoid at all cost list. Avoid at all cost. Now that's harsh, but it's true, because it's not the obvious distractions that destroy most people. It's the almost important stuff, the stuff that's not quite in your top 25. Those are the things that seem good, but quietly pull your focus away from the few things that really matter. When I first applied this, it was humbling. I realized that I had a list of ideas and goals and projects that were good, and things I'm going to get to, and emails I'm going to read later. I want that information. I want to know that, or whatever. But it wasn't aligned with the goals and the path that's laid out for me. The moment I crossed out the other 20, clarity started to show up. You do that for your team, they'll get sharper, your stress levels drop, and your results start to multiply. Why? Because focus compounds. If you chase 25 things, you'll move 1 inch in 25 directions. If you chase 5 things, you'll move 25 inches in one direction. That's how momentum happens, and that's how freedom happens. So we've got to be intentional with our time. So how do you actually live this out? Let me give you 3 practical ways to start being intentional today. Number 1, listen, life comes in seasons. We all know this if you've got any years under your belt. What season are you in? Are you in the building? Are you in the balancing? Are you in the healing? Are you in the leading? Every season has a purpose, but no season can do everything. When you name it, you stop comparing it. Because, man, sometimes you can be wishing that you were somewhere else, but you really need to just focus on the assignment that's in front of you. Don't wish for another season. You can look forward to it. You know it's coming, and seasons change. But don't get distracted by thinking, I need to be in a different season. No, you're in the season that you're in. So let's focus on that. So number one, name the season. Figure out where you are and just name the season. 2, audit your calendar. If I look at your week, could I tell you what you value? Your schedule tells the truth about your priorities. Go through the last 7 days and ask, did my time reflect what I say matters most? Number 3, embrace constraints. 2 weeks ago, we talked about placing constraints on you, on your time. Freedom isn't the absence of limits. It's the presence of the right limits. Block out focused time. Protect your mornings, guard family dinners, create space for rest. Those boundaries don't restrict you, they refine you. When you live this way, time stops running you and you start leading it. If you remember the last episode, I talked about how are you amazed at how much you can get done at home and at work those few days right before you leave to go on a week's vacation or whatever. That's because of time constraints. You have to embrace those constraints and manage and lead your time. And this is what the scalable life is really all about. It's not just scaling business or income, it's scaling intentionality. It's learning to live by design, not by default. You can't scale chaos. You can only scale what's structured, and that begins with how you steward your time. If your calendar is chaotic, your mind will be too. But if your time is aligned with your values, everything else starts to click. Your faith, your marriage, your fitness, your finances. So take Buffett's challenge this week. Write down your top 25 goals or things you'd like to accomplish. Circle the top 5, and then ask yourself, does my calendar reflect those 5? If not, it's time to trim some things out and right the ship. Because trimming isn't failure. Letting go of things isn't failure. It's focus. And when you stop scattering your energy, you can finally start scaling your life. You and I get 4,000 weeks, give or take. That's 4,000 chances to live intentionally, love deeply, build boldly, and leave something that outlasts us. You don't need more time. You need more clarity about how to use the time you already have. Because your life doesn't expand when you add more to it. It expands when you start living it on purpose. Hey, thanks for spending a few minutes out of your 4,000 weeks with me today. If this episode helped you refocus, share it with someone who needs permission to slow down and realign. And if you want a practical next step, shoot me an email or DM me. Email 360successcoach@gmail.com, and I'll send you a time audit worksheet with some different things about, auditing your time and focusing on the top 5. Listen, until next time, build big, love deep, and live free.